All right, folks, a good Friday evening to you all. It's December 7th. Leaves you with 18 days, I'm sure, to go to Christmas. Everywhere feels Christmassy. Not many Nigerians can say it's Christmas. So spare a thought for them. Welcome. I am Citizen Jones. On the program today, PDP takes campaign to Southwest as Atiku promises to begin process of restructuring within 6 months if elected. Oshiomhole and APC governors meet, preach unity, reconciliation, and inclusiveness. On the defense front, Buratai deploys top army general to northeast, appoints new commanders for Operation Lafia Dole, just as security experts lament Nigeria's porous borders. Later on, Catholic Secretariat bars priests from political pronouncements. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju. Jide, good evening to you. I haven't seen you in a while. Good for you, good for you. Okay, you have the puppy here.
Yeah.
All right. And Shola Ojewushi is here. I greet you too.
How are you, sir?
Well, okay. Yes. Our man Sam Ibe-Americano join us because the traffic is, they say they wear
it's horrendous. Tie wrapper.
Okay, that's it. The team is ready. I hope you are. Let's go. Okay then, today is the 20th day of electioneering across all divides in our country. The major opposition, People's Democratic Party, PDP, takes its battle cry, if you understand me, to the critical Southwest, predominated by the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. The flag bearer of the PDP and former number 2 man, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the retired customs officer turned politician, has in his campaign bag an alluring promissory note, restructuring. The vexed issue had received rave reviews and synthesized comments lately. Our man appears to want to rewrite the campaign rules, or doesn't he, Jide?
Well, and it will be interesting to see how the APC responds to some of what Atiku has been saying. Atiku has had his day in the sun. He was in Sokoto, he was in Ilorin, and then Ibadan. And his message is literally the same. I will move Nigeria towards prosperity once again. And he was beating his chest that he headed the best economic team in Nigerian history when he was vice president. So he's promising that if they give him their votes, he will bring Nigeria back to prosperity again. He's telling the voters to kick Buhari out of Aso Rock with their boots.
In other words, it's telling you we had been prosperous before and something went wrong.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. But okay. If you look at it in the strict sense of the word, we were not prosperous during the Obasanjo years. We were really not prosperous. By the real definition of prosperity, we were not.
Shola, that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about political campaigns. You are on the soapbox, you are riding the storm. And so the words will come. In later years, when you are held by whatever you said, you seem to have forgotten.
What?
Is it natural?
I'll say here we go again. Electioneering, a lot of promises. Sometimes white paper fantasies will come up, but when the chips are down, but I just hope, one thing is clear, Atiku has drawn a line and he has made the battle cry. Okay, here's where I am. The points on ground are distinct. They are clear to everybody. He has told you, in fact, 2 major areas of concentration, the economy and the vexed issue of restructuring. Now, how he's able to carry this through the campaign period and convince Nigerians truly that is really after that. And he has also taken a plunge into, especially the issue of restructuring. People will hold him to whatever he says now. It's, if he has the opportunity, then will he really be able to carry it through? Or is it another way of telling the people I want to do this to have their votes, and eventually the politicking will now take over the whole thing? But I hope that people will be able to live up to what promises they make during the electioneering campaigns.
Jide, in our country, there seems to be two distinct groups of politicians. You have the old and seasoned on the one hand, and the experienced politicians on the other. At a time like this, these things will come to the fore.
Yes, and for the experienced politicians are very strategic, because the experience, they say, is the best teacher. So their every actions are dictated by their knowledge of the game. Atiku is very experienced. He may not
be seasoned.
He may not have won the presidency after several attempts, but he's an experienced politician, and he still has contacts all over the country, and he has tremendous resources, which makes the difference in a country like ours. I said it some time ago, that the PDP presidential primaries will be won by the candidate that had the most resources.
Right. Yeah.
I remember saying that we just came back from Ondo State, and that following Monday we went for, I think, the Adaba.
Okay.
Adaba,
Yeah.
10 years,
10-year anniversary.
10th anniversary, and we were discussing the PDP, and I said, the man who has the most resources, the candidate with the deepest pocket, will emerge the winner, and that's exactly what happened. You all saw that it was a contest amongst the contestants for who actually had the most wads of dollar notes, you know. So at the end of the day, Atiku prevailed. The fact that he has considerable means is an asset in this kind of contest, because our politics is becoming more and more monetized, which gives an edge to the candidate who has so much money to spend, either on election day or in the so-called door-to-door campaigns. Every party now is adopting the door-to-door campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And it's simply an opportunity to slip Naira notes into people's hands. And that way, they do it without anybody even seeing them.
Yeah.
You know, no policeman can arrest you when you are inside someone's home, you are campaigning, and you are slipping money into their hands. This is becoming increasingly difficult for anyone who has not got money, who has not got enough money to win elections in Nigeria.
Shola, and that's where the problem is. If you invest this heavily in an election, don't you hope to recoup? I may be wrong.
You've said it all. It's the major...
No, I've not said it all. I'm just laying it on you.
It's the major issue, because if you spend so much, put so much dollar down, then where will governance really come to?
When you are not a charitable organization.
You want to recoup your money? You have already tried to buy the conscience of the people.
It's an investment.
Apart from trying to recoup your money, you also have that feeling within you that you are free to do anything, because you've already bought the people. And that's why the people themselves must be able to know the difference between selling their conscience and then voting the right person. The issue of money has to be discounted by the people. Whether we like it or not, it's like it has become a stock in trade for politicians. The way they had, the current crop of politicians, I'm afraid they can never... So they are going to spend their money.
And there's nothing in the law books in this country that says you have no right to be stupid.
We are still having... Well, yes, that's right. That's right. Another thing is, I was saying earlier that it's like the politicians have already made up their mind to spend money. any attempt to try to dissuade them from that. So it's left for the electorates to know that, okay, these people are trying to buy your conscience. And you should be able to do the right thing and vote. Vote your conscience. Don't vote the money that they are giving you. I think that's the essence of what is going to happen.
But if you chop them now, you go behave. Don't you? If you chop the money.
Well, if you chop, you chopping your future.
All right.
Okay, they're buying your future. So whatever happens, if the man misbehaves or misgoverns, then it's not your business.
You will not feel that he's responsible to you.
Yes.
Anyway.
So
Because
Nigerians...
no law is not bound by any law.
No, because he paid his way to
Yes,
way to office. So he will not feel that he's responsible to the people.
Yes.
Because the people he paid his way to office, he will not feel that he owes them that obligation to serve them. He's paid his way, so he would to office. So he would think that whatever I do here now at this point is not anybody's business.
Did they see with that logic? Let's expand. Let's look at the second leg. That in 6 months after election, I would restructure the country.
Yes.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, what you will probably be able to do is set in motion the process of restructuring. If indeed he will do it, he can set in motion. Some of the strands of this whole restructuring
Gambit.
yes, will take months. Some of it will require amending the Constitution, and the process is cumbersome, the process is time-consuming. For example, if we were to say, okay, the Nigerian Constitution says there shall be one police, and we don't want that. We want all the states to be able to have their own police.
Police force.
Yes,
Yeah.
we want a deregulated, if we can use, borrow that word from you. Now, that will take months because you have to take that around the states. It's not what the National Assembly alone can just decide. It's just like the local government.
States.
Yes,
In
24 states. It's just like local government autonomy that we are talking about. They've been talking about this local government autonomy for years. A new crop of lawmakers will come, they will continue. And yet, we still haven't been able to effect that that autonomy for the local government. So restructuring and fiscal federalism that we want will take a long process. Some of it will require weeks of meetings with stakeholders, National Assembly amending the Constitution, amendment of the Constitution that you take through states, what was it called? The assemblies in the various states will have to agree that, look, we want this.
All right.
And then, so it's not, that's why I feel, except if the restructuring, except if Atiku's restructuring agenda is not a deeper version of the restructuring that some of us have been talking about.
Whatever that means. So you leave it to him?
If he simply wants to scratch the surface,
Yeah.
then maybe within 6 months it can happen.
do it. Yeah, okay. All right, so as not to have that held against him.
Yes.
Abubakar is here in Lagos. How do you do, sir?
I'm fine.
Hello, Abubakar, are you there?
Yes, I'm fine.
No luck. So,
I'm fine. Yeah, I can
shall I
hear you.
eat? Okay,
I can
I hear
hear you.
Abubakar is here now. Let's
Yes.
go, Abubakar. Welcome.
Yeah,
Abu?
thank you. Yeah, good evening all.
Not quite ready.
Yeah, good evening all.
No, we are not
Abu is not on air.
We are
He's
not
not
there.
on
Good evening
air.
all. I can,
Shola, better luck next time, Abu. Shola, so it's important what you say. You guard and guide what you say on the soapbox.
Yeah, we said earlier, according to Jide, Atiku is a seasoned politician. I hope he has brought that seasonedness, permit me to use that, to understanding the nitty-gritty of restructuring. Because there is no need for you to do what they call the surface something if you are really not sure what you are doing. If you happen to win, then you should know that you are going into a marathon journey, as really stated by Jide. But does he have the will?
Yeah.
The president who is going to carry this restructuring thing through must be one who has the will, who will be able to go across the board and convince different
To
shades
dismantle
of
what you
opinion.
have in the Constitution,
Let me-
66
yes.
issues on the
Yes.
exclusive list.
Yes.
How you begin to disentangle.
And you should know that there are still naysayers who feel threatened.
Of course.
So
of
how
course.
does he
Of course.
handle such people?
No, the way to even know the way to know what will happen when we get to that bridge is to cast our minds back to what happened at the confab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Confab.
Oh, yeah.
The moment some of these issues,
There was a walkout. we remember.
no, we will not agree, and some people staged the
yeah,
walkout.
yeah.
It was in fact difficult for the confab chairman, the late Justice Kutigi,
that's
to
it.
bring everybody
Yeah,
back
yeah.
again. So these are emotive issues. Some of the issues, some of these issues that we are talking about are really emotive issues.
Let me go biological here. They say the bile, this crazy thing inside the human body, when you are vexed, it leaves the bag, goes into the bloodstream. When you settle down, no be everything go return. I'm tying it to what you said. Okay, I'm told by the guys on the program we must move on. But let the debate continue. Let the debate continue. You know something? Funny how times seem to change for a once bubbly and enchanting All Progressives Congress APC, more so in the build-up to the 2015 elections, if you remember. Now, with the 2019 general election round the bend, camaraderie and inclusiveness seem to have flown out the window. A harried national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole, and some temperate governors rose from the NWC meeting, including key stakeholders on Thursday, agreeing that with an acute constraint of campaign time, the one choice before the party was a closing of ranks on all sides, including co-contestants, for the task ahead. He told his guests, let me quote him, "Your actions would help the process of reconciliation and assist in resolving some of the issues," end quote. In politics, Jide, you keep running with the pack. You must not fall down. If you fall down and the pack sees you are injured, they feast on you.
Yes. once they sense blood, once they sense blood, you'll be encircled. It's, I really don't envy Oshomole, because he is taking up the leadership of the party at a very difficult time. The party, everyone wanted to be a candidate of the candidate in the APC, because as the ruling party and a party constantly growing, many people felt, especially in those states where it was in control, many people felt that the APC, whatever happens, the APC would produce the winner of the election. So, really, at the end of the day, the primaries were rancorous, acrimonious, all because everyone wanted to win. You can imagine a state like Borno, where 22 candidates emerged, 22 aspirants.
Hopefuls.
22 aspirants emerged, all gunning for that ticket, you know? And you were made to pay, I think APC said they should pay 20 million or so, I can't remember now. Each of them. Each of them will pay, bought the form.
Ticket?
Bought the ticket,
form,
bought
rather.
the form
Yeah.
for like 20 million or so.
I can't remember.
I can't remember, but it could be between 20 to 22 million.
Yeah.
You know? So the stakes were high. But at the end of the day, it's one person who can win. You know that in a state like Borno, once you become the candidate of the APC, you've won the election. You are the next governor. You are the next governor. No doubt about it. And that's what will happen across the local governments. If you are a House of Assembly candidate for the APC, in Borno State, you've won the election. It's like that too in Yobe and some other states of the north, and even some states in the southwest. So people had to just struggle that, look, it has to be me. And at the end of the day, when a lot of these people could not clinch the ticket, they became aggrieved. No thanks to the fact that in some cases, the leadership of the party did not really make the feed level for all candidates, which is what any candidate would want. And then you also, where you had decided that a candidate will return unopposed, you still went ahead, took money from people. That was what the president's wife was complaining about. And I'm happy during this meeting that Oshomole had with some of the governors.
Yeah.
The governor of Niger said, look, the way we are trying to solve this problem is by refunding to them the money, yes, the money that they spent in buying forms.
Plausible?
Yes,
Plausible
because at the
logic?
end, it douses the tension, no doubt about it, because you are looking at your investment. You spent all this money. You know that some people sell their houses just for politics, to campaign, to find money to campaign and all that. So if they return your money,
Then politics is it.
they return your money, at least you'll be happy. And then candidates, those who eventually became candidates, ought to reach out to the people that they have vanquished, so that they can now see themselves as one and work together. That is the way to go. But it's like the reconciliation has come a bit late. Oshomole said something that your actions could help the process of reconciliation, and they could also deepen division.
That's it.
And I feel he was referring to himself here, because his own utterances have not really helped reconciliation, because some of the people that he's busy abusing and saying that they don't have electoral value. If you tell someone that doesn't have electoral value, you have challenged him to prove to you that he indeed has electoral value. And if he must go ahead and prove to you that indeed he has electoral value, it is the party that loses.
So after all, the so-called no victor, no vanquished in politics is a hollow ritual.
No, there's no such thing as no victor, no vanquished.
Okay.
The victor can reach out to the vanquished and say, look, I want to work with you. Thank you for giving me a very good contest, but we are brothers, let's work together. That is the message from the governor of Niger State, which, if it is replicated across the APC states, then the party will be able to reconcile a lot of the aggrieved people, and they will be able to work for the party. There's really no time. They have to move fast.
Shala, what's playing out now is what they say. They say there's a counter logic here. There must be discipline at the party level, and not business as usual.
Well, I think I can sympathize with Oshomole to some extent, because he came with the mind to bring discipline to the party. But, it's a matter of strategy. Already some people are having the impression that the man is dictatorial and he's been over-assertive. But in a situation where you have a lot of eggheads in a particular party, many of them came believing they have stakes in the
And a lot of
party.
egos.
Yes.
Egos.
The man has to know, and maybe he underestimated the battle. And, in the face of a party, an opposition party that seems fired, I don't think they can afford to continue the way they are going.
At this time?
At this time. The meeting they held yesterday, there were still some governors who should have been there. So how far has the leadership of the party reached out to people? Do not underestimate...
Shala, my mind goes readily to Ogun State and Imo State.
So what are they doing to get these people back to the table? Or you think they don't have any values? Prior to 2015, the PDP committed the same, what I can call tactical blunder. Is the APC going into that? Or they believe everything is very good, and no matter what the opposition, like jackals baying around.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think the leadership, Oshomole especially, he has the mandate to either crash the situation or to mend things up. Now, he has been a labor leader. He has been in so many situations. He has dealt with government at different levels over the years. Now, he should be able to prove his mettle.
I recall with candor his tango with former President Obasanjo. When Chief Obasanjo moved, said, "Come back, I'm a president. We are two presidents are talking. Two presidents are
he
talking."
Should bring that experience to the table. Otherwise, sometimes we tend to overestimate situations and believe that because of certain dynamics, we may be able to get through without any problem. But it's not always like that.
Is it necessarily Negroid or the black thing?
Well,
or it's in our nature?
Well, it's perhaps maybe we've not learned anything from what has happened in recent past.
Yeah.
But I think we have to learn.
Jide, I said that because George Walker Herbert Bush just passed, and look at the outpouring of emotions when he met. So both enemy and friend was there.
Yes.
But that's politics.
That's politics. Once a man dies, as that's happened, even his enemies will show up. All his sins are forgiven. In any case, at that point, what can you do to him? You cannot do anything to him. So, in this case, Oshomole must keep working at reconciling people. It's in his best interest to do so. All this swashbuckling, attacking people, accusing them of not having electoral value. You can't say a governor does not have electoral value. A governor who has won election in different parties. What are you talking about? That he does not have electoral value? That, look, whatever happens, we will win the states. But it is they who should be careful that they may not even win their senatorial district. You have to be sure before saying some of those things, because I just returned from Imo, and I can say that the election in Imo is not going to be an easy one. It's not going to be an easy one. Any of the three major parties in the state can win the election. I can say that here. Yes, you have to be faithful, you have to be loyal to your party. But there are things that you can't say. These guys, you should continue to talk to these guys. And they've made up their minds that, it's the president that they are interested in. They will deliver the president and not bother themselves about their... That is anti-party behavior. You have to address that. You have to keep telling these guys that, look, there's only one party.
Might I interject by recalling Lagos State of Yore, the Otedola issue?
Yes. It even happened in Kano too.
Oh, it did?
It happened in Kano, SDP and NRC.
Okay.
SDP will have won easily. But the people in anger, because of the disagreement over candidates, decided to go and vote for the NRC. And Bashir Tofa became governor. Bashir Tofa is in the Senate now.
Yeah,
he became governor. It also happened in Kano. When Buhari, this our president, decided to impose Lawa Jafaru Issa on the CPC. That was why, and the Kano people, the CPC members,
interestingly,
at that time,
his former party.
No, it's his party. Even it was his party at the time.
Yeah.
Now,
okay. Prior to his becoming president.
Buhari didn't want Mohamed Abacha.
Okay.
But Mohamed Abacha was the person who won the primaries by a wide margin. I'm talking about 2011.
Okay.
He won the primaries of the CPC in Kano by a wide margin. Buhari was very popular. CPC was very popular. Nobody could defeat the CPC. But the people did not want the candidate that Buhari brought. So as much as they like Buhari, they disagreed with him and taught Buhari a political lesson by voting against Buhari's candidate. So when people see Buhari, they hail him almost like he has the status of God. They must know that back in history, Buhari has been taught an exemplary political lesson before in Kano. So it's not every time that the people go with Buhari in Kano. On that occasion, he supported someone that they did not want. And that the substitution came very late. And the people said, oh, it's Mohamed Abacha who had been financing this party.
That's it.
Yes, this Mohamed Abacha that we want. They went, voted against Buhari's favored candidate.
Yes. Politics bears a little semblance with football. In football, if you don't take your chances, you are punished.
That's right. You've been having all the opportunities, scoring chances. You didn't. Then the opposition just takes advantage of one move.
And that's
so
it.
this may be the issue if the APC especially does not get its act together about all those rancors across. And it's not as if it's in one particular, it's like it spreads across the land. That means the leadership, back to Oshomole, has a huge battle that he has to fight. We have how many weeks before the election? So reaching out and then being able to prove that this is not a dictatorial situation, that I'm ready to listen to all shades of opinion. I think he has to do that. Otherwise, those who are waiting in the wings to cash in on the situation will just be happy, and they'll be praying that their problem continues in the APC.
You did the words of old American President Ronald Reagan, bless his soul, will come to mind here. He says, politics is the second oldest profession, but it bears a semblance to the oldest, which is prostitution.
Yes.
And so so you are dealing with a catch 40, a catch what? 24? 22 situation here.
Yes, catch 22. It is prostitution by other means. When you are in the APC and your aide or your aides, you told them to go and join APM, or you told them to go and join
BBC. Okay.
AA is the party that Okorocha's in-law has moved to, along with about 18 or 17 members of the House of Assembly, you know. So, and Okorocha is still holding on to his own senatorial ticket of the APC.
What do you call that?
No, it can't be anything else. It's prostitution by other means.
You know, I hope he's not watching. Governor Okorocha gave us this phrase, Iberiberism.
Iberiberism. No, maybe it's responding to Oshomole's Iberiberism. Because it's actually novel. At no time since I've been following politics have I seen it this pronounced. Yes, the older Saraki, the late Olusola Saraki, was fond of that. If you offend him, just wait. 48 hours to election, he will tell his supporters to go and vote for the rival party. He did it in 1983. The Shagaris, they came to Ilorin believing that they had resolved the dispute at the Kwara Mini Stadium at that time. And my mom was telling me that, look, these people don't know Oloye. Oloye will work against them. And they raised each other's hands and they were smiling. We all thought that, oh, this matter had been buried. On election day, he told them to go and vote for the rival, the UPN. And that was how CO Adebayo, Cornelius Adebayo.
Okay, Cornelius, I remember.
Yes, he was able to win the election. In 1999, the same thing happened. He gone for the what's it called? The presidential position of AMPP. He lost out. And the moment he lost out, I told my boss, Bayo Nonoga, I said, this man will work against his party. He said, no, I don't see that happening. I said, I know this man, no. Since a little boy, I've been following his politics. That is what he would do. Because he was bitter, he complained. The next thing, he was supporting the PDP. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't something that across board you'll be seeing it, across parties people will be doing. He was noted for that. But it was not that common. But what we are having now, We have a situation in which even from APC alone, so many people have made up their minds to work against their party.
What does that tell you about our politics in the 21st century?
No, it just tells you that politicians are by nature very selfish. It's not all of them. We've seen even politicians cheated, and they will still stick with their party. Because the thing is, you must count yourself privileged.
Alex Ekweme comes to mind here.
Yes, and they will still stick with their party. They won't leave. We've seen politicians stay in the same party for more than 20 years. But a situation in which, because you want to put your own choice, you want to impose your own choice on everyone, and because you didn't succeed, then you must overturn the table. I don't think it makes sense. That nature, that tells you that something is wrong with the Nigerian politician, and the Nigerian politician is selfish, you know. But at the same time, one must appeal to party leaders to show transparency, because if you conduct transparent primaries, like it happened in Port Harcourt, for the PDP.
Yeah.
Like it happened here in Teslim Balogun Stadium, where Buhari emerged. People are not likely to get up and say, no, we are leaving the party, we are going to work against the party. But if you do not show equity, you do not show transparency, then they are bound, or you made up your mind from the go that this person, whatever he does, his candidate will not emerge. Then they will feel very bad. That's how the man in Zamfara feels, and he's saying that if they're born Oshomolewe, that he should show up, that both of them will end up in a graveyard.
Well, there are many folks who will tell you, Shola and Jide, that is not politics. It's something else. Well, let the debate continue. On our part, we'll take this breather and return, because still coming, Chief of Army Staff General Buratai deploys top army generals to the northeast, appoints new commanders for Operation Lafia Dole, as security experts lament Nigeria's porous borders. You want to stay? And now to security matters. You know, there can be no gainsaying that at this time of the year, internal security would be given a high premium, especially in the northeastern part of the country. Army Chief Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has deployed new commanders for Operation Lafia Dole, the military task force in the region. Sector 3, the newly created Special Forces Command, Operations Monitoring Team, and some other formations now have new commanders. Away from this, though, security experts are bored stiff about Nigeria's legendary borders. They insist that kidnapping, militancy, cultism, and Boko Haram elements are propelled by these penetrable border crossings. Judy, it's as old, as they say in the street parlance, our borders have been porous since Adam Day Class 1. It's not just yesterday.
Yes. But the reason for, is one reason behind the escalation of Boko Haram's activities. No doubt about it. Our border with Niger Republic, for example, remain unmanned, remain extremely porous. In fact, customs men have fled their border posts in those dangerous areas. So they can bring in weapons the way they like, because those customs men don't want to be killed. A lot of the, when you look at a local government like Monguno, for example, only the town is safe. And that is the last local government in Borno State.
Before you cross?
To Chad, the last. So, and it's only one town that is safe. In fact, people have fled, other communities fled into Chad, some have gone to Niger Republic. So, whatever is coming in through that side, there's little or nothing you can do. And we know now that weapons used in Libya are coming into Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we seize weapons from Boko Haram, when we kill them and we seize their weapons, we will see that those weapons are not, they are not in our own inventory.
Yeah.
They are not in our inventory. You see clearly that, okay, these are NATO weapons that are not in our inventory. So these are weapons that come in through the black market, weapons bought from, in some cases, Chadian rebels and other maybe contract killers in the area, because a lot of these mercenaries are available for Boko Haram to use. If you see the mastery of some of these Boko Haram men, their gun handling expertise, you know that they are not, you can't say these are ragtag guys. You can't say.
They're not neophytes.
They are not, no, because some of them are recruited from the ranks of Chadian rebels who are battle tested, who have fought the Chadian army for years.
And hungry.
And they are hungry once you can give them money. I will tell you what happened. On the day that we had these Boko Haram men try to escape from Giwa barracks, they tried to set free their people who were being detained in Giwa barracks.
That's
in Maiduguri.
Maiduguri, okay.
At the end of the fight, there was a bag. There was a bag full of money. And it was actually foreign currency. I still have that picture. It was a bag, they discovered the bag. The intention was to distribute the money to these boys after the fight. Once they've won the fight, they successfully chased away the soldiers, then they will share the money to the fighters. And it was foreign currency. Foreign currency, not, and a lot of the people arrested, even on that day, a lot of the fighters, Boko Haram fighters arrested on that day, could not speak a word of Nigerian language. So that's to tell you that they are not part of us. These are mercenaries who stream in through our porous borders and are available for use by the insurgents. So this is the thing. So those who say that we should do something about our border, they are correct. In fact, I was reading what a lawmaker from Borno State, I think one of the House of Reps members from the Monguno area, was saying that, look, that this war became escalated after Chadian troops withdrew. Because when we had the Chadian troops, they were able to secure their own border area.
Yeah.
And then they also rapidly took over some communities for Nigeria.
Do we know why they withdrew?
No, the president was not even disposed to having foreign troops on Nigerian soil. He complained.
Okay.
After I took over, he used the words, how are the mighty falling? That he didn't like the fact that we had to resort to mercenaries. He didn't like the fact that we had to put foreign boots
on our soil.
On our soil.
Yeah.
So, and in no time, the Chadians had to go.
Shola, and this border thing takes us down the Benin axis to the seashore, and of course Seme, Idiroko, and other places are notable for
I think the border issue has to be taken absolutely seriously. Take your mind back to what has been happening between the American president and the Mexicans. The issue of a strong border to prevent immigrants. Theirs may not be insurgency, but one fact is made clear. Where your border is porous, then a lot of things will go on.
Anything.
Now, the analogy I'm trying to use, it's like yesterday, I'm very prone to, when I'm bitten by mosquitoes, malaria sets in. And I try to flick the house, when you do that to keep my mosquitoes off. But my children, maybe by act of commission or omission, decided to leave the windows and the doors open.
Yeah.
While you are trying to, stop the mosquitoes, but there are other flags. So the same thing must be taken into consideration by our security chiefs and even the presidency. The idea of not, wanting to use Chadians or whatever, insurgency is not conventional battle.
Oh, yeah.
We have to look at this thing holistically and see how we can harness whatever, because I don't think we have enough manpower to be able to man all the borders now. If we don't have that, you don't start flexing your muscles if you don't have, like the Yoruba say, if you don't have your hand on the
you can't call a bluff.
Yes, you can't. So I think it's about time. Why are we the giants of ECOWAS if we cannot marshal the support of nations surrounding us? If those people are not ready to be part of the battle, how do you stop insurgents from coming into it? Just recently, we were talking about some people finding their way into maybe Zamfara and some other states, though people were trying to, explain it away as not being maybe insurgent or whatever. But it's to tell us that we need to do something.
Something is wrong.
Yes.
Something is wrong.
So we have to look beyond maybe trying to say, okay, our sovereignty and all those things. Sometimes you have to take some action to be able to sustain that sovereignty.
But we conclude, gentlemen, without prejudice to what government is doing, that the army chief, in appointing new commanders, will see a new impetus.
And that's his goal. He's trying to, and he's done it in a way that some of the people that had just been promoted is giving them this task.
Challenge.
So how they respond is a matter of time. For me, I think that the war in the Northeast is an unusual war, and constantly changing commanders may not give us the desired result. I think that someone like Rogers Nicholas was doing a fantastic job, and then he suffered 2 setbacks in 24 hours, and then he was removed. He had worked, harder than previous commanders. Even the governor praised him as the best, but he suffered that ambush in Bama. The attack on the army base in Chile. The next thing they removed him.
We leave it there, but let the debate continue. Let the debate continue. Okay, we go straight to our last subject for the evening. There's nothing in the good book that precludes priests and shepherds from interceding for the poor and needy, and the same good book does not say that the church should be a campaign ground. The Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria, CSN, has accentuated this by cautioning priests under its watch not to indulge in partisan politics. Secretary General of the Secretariat, Reverend Father Ralph Madu, disclosed that the church in Nigeria was embarrassed by the recent bickering between Reverend Father Ejike Mbaka and the vice presidential candidate of the PDP, Peter Obi, at his popular adoration ground in Enugu. Did Daniel come to judgment?
If you saw the video, you will have been embarrassed for Peter Obi.
Do you know, I found it hard to believe that those words actually came from Father Mbaka.
Oh, the Father Mbaka was really reckless on the day. And when you also take into cognizance what he said about the president, that he prayed for the president and that they have not shown appreciation. This is it's like extortion in the real sense of the word. Because what are you talking about? That you pray for
prayer is
them?
now for sale?
Yes. Is it supposed to be for sale? And it's not as if the Catholic Church had not had that rule until now. The rule had always been there that they cannot be making political pronouncement. But Father Mbaka just behaves as if he is not responsible to the leadership of the church, and he does what he likes at his adoration ground. That's the thing. Because he looked at, and he was patting, touching Obi like a little boy. That see, the efforts of you and Atiku will end in shame. What all them front back? So you will sense that, okay, though he castigated the president for not showing appreciation, he left a gap a little bit. He left an opening. so that
rub that
so
in.
that if the president behaves, if the president and his people behave, he can still say that, look, you are going to win the election, which is what the politician wants to hear. So because he left it an open-ended, he left an open-ended situation. He neither said that the president will win, nor that he will not win, but he said that the president was ungrateful. And before now, he had been abusing the APC. He had been abusing the APC, most likely because he didn't, the president, as he said, did not show signs of being grateful to him. There's no way, the church should not be reduced to this level.
Oh yeah, it should not.
Because you cannot, in your church, be saying that this person belongs to this party, therefore, you don't want to see him. You should embrace members of all the parties. Pray for them. Let the people decide. Clerics must respect themselves. But it's like the Nigerian Christian clerics, especially, they are getting so involved in politics now that even when a newspaper or someone makes a costly mistake, you see a pastor mount the pulpit to go and mount the same mistake. I mean, it's just not good enough.
The other day on this station, we talked about voices from the pulpit and misbar. You know, this is a critical time for us. That's straying away from the Catholic thing. You know, but the Catholic Secretariat did not frown when the Bishop of Sokoto went there to Obasanjo's house. Well, whether or not he was in the Atiku retinue. You know,
But they don't tell you.
Well, to me, these are not the best of times for the leadership of the church, because it's like every day, by their actions, especially utterances, they are shooting themselves in the foot. Leaders of the church should be seen. They are like kings. Let me use that. The king is the father of the town. He is the king to women, to men, to Christians, to Muslims, to traditionalists, to everybody. The church leader should not have, even if he is a human being, he may have his preferences.
You sit on the fence.
Yes, but it should not be made so public to the extent of trying to show sides.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of opprobrium to that exalted position of a man of God. You know, God is like the father of everybody.
Even members of your church could belong to different parties.
Yes, and then you take, I think there is a lot of problem. That utterance by Mbaka or by anybody is marks of commercialism. You've commercialized prayers to the extent that, okay, I prayed for you and I expected you to bring something in return. You're not doing that, then you don't have my
Another
support.
word is mercantilism. You know.
That's very right.
And in the Catholic Church, you are told only the Pope can speak ex cathedra, you know.
I think some leaders of the church are trying to take that power or that unction from the Pope. You know, you're trying to arrogate to yourself certain powers. I don't even understand the system where, you know, the Catholic Church used to be one very strong entity.
Oh, yes.
But it's like there are factions coming up nowadays. Some will call them charismatic and all those things. I don't know. I'm not a Catholic. I don't. But I think because of that, it's creating that uniqueness, that oneness.
You are not a Catholic, but what you're saying is Catholic, if you see what I mean. You are saying it
universal,
as it is.
Yeah. So I think they have to see themselves as, even, you know, the church can be a kind of ombudsman or whatever they call it, where everybody comes for you to be able to create a kind of rapport, create unity. Don't create division among the people. And when you do that, you're already bringing even real problem to the fold that you have.
In the weeks ahead, as we take it home, it may not end here because we are approaching the tape. And so every politician, given what we said earlier, wants to win his election. And this is the time
Look
prophets,
at all of
seers
them
are
going.
in season.
Yes.
Oh, I see you winning the election. You hear things like that.
Those are the things that we like to hear.
It's crazy.
And when we hear those things, when politicians hear you say that, they reach for their wallets and bless you. It is the duty of the cleric to bless the politician. But the politician,
Not the other way around.
But the politician, in response to being told that he will win the election, he goes ahead to bless the...
Or
bless with money.
to draw from Christ's words. He said to Peter after the third time of asking him, do you love me? And Peter became agitated. He said, easy, feed my sheep. Now the sheep are feeding the pastor. No, I'm sorry. You know,
the message really is, I think that the church needs to talk to Father Mbaka. Because
and people like him.
Yes, if there are others like him. He is a well-known person. Once we are approaching an election year, this sort of thing happens. You know that he supported the APC, yes, at that time. But the good thing was that Peter Obi actually stood up to him. He embarrassed the man. You know, this shouldn't be happening. And if there are other pastors too who are doing that, they need to be told, because they are bringing the name of God to disrepute. And if pastors get too involved in politics, they are going to destroy their church.
All right, we'll leave it there. But let's thank Jide Kolade Otitojo for your time.
Thank you so much.
I hear our station has
today's our end of year party.
Shola Ojewusi, you must be a part of the party.
No, I'll be there.
You know why? The traffic says don't go home now.
Don't go yet. So I will do some whining and dining.
All right. So but seriously, I think the viewer is better able to distinguish between the great God of men and the great men of God in Nigeria. We'll leave it at that point. That's it on the program for today and this week. Join us next week for another episode and watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms showing on your screen and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel is the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Take care of yourself and bye-bye for now.